Welcome to Our Girl Relationships. On this channel, we talk about problems people face in their day-to-day lives. Let's start with a video. I am making this post in a throwaway account for obvious reasons, so I probably won't be answering to DMs or comments, but yeah, we'll probably keep updating once in a while. My life has been on the verge of getting ruined, and at this point, whatever happens, either way, it will be a shit show, and I am prepared for it. Everyone I know in real life is blaming me for everything, but deep down I have a feeling I am doing nothing wrong. So yeah, strangers' perspective is something that I would really need on this one, and please read every detail before coming to any conclusion and calling me AH. Because I would be posting it, the AIT forum as well. So yeah, basically some story, two different places, but it is required for my self-assurance, honestly. I'm a woman, 29 years old, and I've been in a romantic relationship with my fiancé, Ken, fake name for keeping identity safe, for almost like 2 years. And during this holiday, we decided to make it official, and our wedding is literally in 2 weeks. He planned a good proposal outdoors and proposed to me with a cheap ring because he didn't have enough money for a ring. He's not broke. Due to the pandemic, he lost his job and he used up most of his savings in 3 months. And now that he has yet to get his salary from his new job, he promised he would buy me the most priceless ring in the world that I can flaunt around. We went to visit his grandma a month ago, and she noticed my ring wasn't worth the mark. And she was disappointed and started scolding my fiancé about this, and said that, is this how you treat the girl you love? And gave him her own wedding ring that has this really pink rose diamond with green petals. It's really pretty, and if you calculate its mark value, it would be considered as an antique piece and would be really expensive. At first, I was a little nervous to have the ring for really obvious reasons. Like, what if I lost it? Or what if I destroy the ring or it gets stolen? But she kept on persuading and told me to wear it as my wedding ring instead of engagement ring. But I couldn't wait, so I started wearing it. And yeah, we did the whole proposal in front of her again because she wanted to witness it. She is the sweetest grandma ever, and I never had a grandma like this growing up, so it does make me feel cared for and cherished for. I vowed to keep the ring safe with me and pass it down to my daughter or daughter-in-law if I have any, LOL. So basically everything was good going until my mother-in-law moved in with us till our wedding. Basically, the expense of the wedding is split between me and my husband's family, as he can't handle it on his own, and so we can't help but have to welcome her to live with us. And we both would be busy in our jobs, and she is mainly the one who will take care of everything. So her living with her makes the best sense for everything, except for the fact that she is annoying and has to pick her nose in everything me and my husband do in general. She and my husband aren't over the top close with each other, but my husband won't dare to cross her in any wrong way because the inheritance depends on her. He had always been somewhat money hungry, but I don't know, it always seemed like a good trait in men to me. So basically, she can't be thrown out, and we need to bear her for the next 2 weeks until the wedding's done. And I am already giving up. First few days, things started changing immensely for me. She's a lot more disciplined than I am, and that too, she needs to control everything. I am low on sleep because I can't sleep after 5 a.m. in the morning because she will drag my ass to do yoga, and I sleep at 1 a.m. because of housework and my job these days. Everything is in ruins. After a few days, when me and my husband decided to go out for dinner, I got all dressed up and wore the ring as it complemented my dress, and guess what? She noticed it. Grandma and mother-in-law never got along, and from what I have described each of them, as you must have guessed why. They're just those girls in high school who are polar opposites and hate each other. So she never got to have the ring from my grandma, and from the moment she noticed me with that ring on, from her expressions, I could tell I hit a wrong button in her, and my life is going to hell for the next few days, and it did. That night, she casually came over and asked if I stole the ring, and I said no. She stared at me again and went back to her room. Not a single word about that ring incident was spoken ever again till 3 days ago. 3 days ago, when I returned home from work and went into my room and changed my clothes, I could feel things being displaced from my room. I usually leave a piece of paper hanging to my door, and if it's down, I would just know that someone came in. And yes, I learnt it from the Death Note, so don't drag me about it. I immediately think about the ring because that is the most expensive thing in my house and my locker. And guess what? It is what happened. The ring is there and everything, but looks faded and so much lighter, as if it was replaced by those rings that kids play with. And that's exactly what went down. I couldn't scream at my mother-in-law, but waited for my fiancé to come over and do it for me. And when he comes and starts asking me about what had happened, he just goes silent and tells me to shut up, or we will not be getting any money out of his mother ever again. He said that he doesn't believe me, and his mother isn't the kind of person when I called him out for always being a money-minded hound dog. He starts yelling at me and locks me in the room and leaves and comes back after a while and tells me that his mother does have the ring and I am never getting it back, or I may get it back when she writes off her will. But I knew she was going to destroy the ring, and that ring holds so much emotional value for me. It was something his grandma gave me and made me promise I would take care of it because it also was the proof of her ex-husband who passed away in the war. I am sorry, but as a literature nerd, these kinds of romantic stories do get me. And no way I am losing something to a woman who has gone through multiple divorces because of her cheating habits. Yes, she is a serial cheater as well, and that's the reason you won't see my husband's father in this incident, because till date, she ain't even sure who actually was the father. Another reason why she doesn't deserve the ring. I am not saying that I am the best eligible candidate myself, but trust me, I will try my best forever to be the best granddaughter-in-law to her and honor hers and grandpa's romance legacy. My fiancé just told me to go to sleep and how he would just get me another ring like that. And it's not about the money and the design. He should understand how deep meaning it holds for me. So I just left the room and crashed on the couch for that night. Next day morning, when my mother-in-law was out for yoga, I sneaked and took my ring back, and I couldn't believe it would be that easy. But then I realized the leaf was a bit scratched, and that completely broke my heart. Like, how could she be so casual with something that precious and be careless with it? I just couldn't think straight. All I knew was I needed to repair it, and for that I would need money, so I did what I needed to do. I took all her jewels and sold all of it to the jeweler and had my precious ring fixed. And soon after, she realized the whole thing. She went crazy. And now my husband would never go against his mother. So yeah, I was told to get a hotel room for a day. And now I'm here typing all this in my hotel room and thinking about how I should call the wedding off, because this ain't it. I had difficulty updating, but finally figured it out anyway. So yeah, I did call off the wedding, and honestly, not only that, but also broke up with that good-for-nothing gold digger. Like, I don't know how could I be so blind. Like, literally, that guy has always been this way. It's always me paying for most of the things in our house, but what crossed me was that he not taking a stand for me. And yeah, I did get the ring back and completely repaired it, so yeah, that worked. Most importantly, they called the cops on me and I had to pay some fine too. And I did, from that leftover jewelry money, and they didn't escalate things because Ken already owes me a lot of money, and that can get him in trouble. But at the end of the day, the ring is saved and I'm happy. Someday in this month, I will go and return this ring to Grandma again, because I don't think it's my place anymore. So I will enjoy as much time as I have left with it, and when I am ready to let go, I'll give it back. Till then, let it heal me a bit. 3 months have passed since I had made the last update, and it feels like yesterday me and Ken broke up. We haven't been in contact since then, and I think it's good this way for a while. And yeah, I did visit Grandma. She was told a different story, but mine makes things more believable, and she trusts me, so we're good. And yeah, I did offer her the ring back. Not offered, but just kept it. She told me to keep it because she doesn't want to be around Ken anymore, because she doesn't like how he turned out to be. So yeah, it's with me. Sorry for not replying to comments I said earlier I won't, but sorry again anyways. OP, so sorry it all happened, but I see nothing wrong, so NTA. The grandma sounds like the old lady from Titanic and slightly TA, maybe. But the fiancé and his mother were disasters, so it's okay. I'm close with my boyfriend's family. He's 29-year-old male, and I, 29-year-old female, hang out with his sister, 36, and her husband, 39, twice a week. The sister talks behind her husband's back all the time to my boyfriend and I. I don't take part as he is my friend, and I find these conversations disrespectful. When we are all out together, she shames him and talks down to him all the time in front of people. It seriously makes me cringe, but whatever, right? It's their relationship. A couple of weeks ago, the four of us were playing a board game. He made a mistake and she groaned at him and was like, "No, you wait till your turn to go." Like one of those obviously statements. Then she just rolled her eyes at him. He got really quiet after that. A few minutes later, she and my boyfriend went to get drinks in the garage, and he turned to me and said, "Well, there they go again to talk shit about me. They always do that." It was so embarrassing. My heart broke for him, and I told my boyfriend later in private. I told him he should discourage that kind of behavior, or at least not take part, because it is noticed by others, including him, is unfair to his brother-in-law, and is unfair to his sister and her marriage. At this point, maybe I sound like a judgmental bitch, but I promise it comes from a place of love for everyone. I don't dare interfere with the two of them or try to give advice. I'm rooting for them and just don't want to encourage behavior I see as toxic, as I think it's better to talk to your partner than complain about them to others, especially mutual friends or family. Anyway, here's where I may have messed up. Tonight was his birthday. The family and 4 close friends went out to dinner. While we were there, she did the whole talking down to him. Obviously, bit him multiple times. It was so awkward, and I felt bad for him. And towards the end of the dinner, I just personally couldn't take any more. I'm not the kind of person to call people out publicly or in front of other people, but he just looked so unhappy, and it was irritating the hell out of me, so I spoke up calmly. "You don't need to talk to him like he's an idiot." Perhaps understandably, she got upset at me, but then she doubled down on her comment that he was being dumb. I then replied, "No, that's not the point. That's just really condescending. He's human and makes mistakes. You don't need to embarrass him in front of everyone." She was hella pissed, but didn't say anything. He just stayed looking the way he had before, numb. The atmosphere of the table was awkward for like 10 seconds before things picked up again, but she did tell my boyfriend later I should mind my own effing business. I don't know, maybe I should, but damn, I just hate that kind of behavior. And when someone doesn't stick up for themselves, I can't help it that I eventually get to the point where I do it in their stead. By all means, if I'm TA, tell me. I will gladly learn from this experience. ESH, I say this because you let this horrible woman demean and insult her poor husband for a very long time before you ever said anything. You should have said something the first time, not the a-hole at dinner this time. She 100% needed to be called out on her BS, and good on you for doing it. NTA, but I would check your BF more often. Anyone who doesn't shut down that abusive behavior, accepts it, condones it, and even participates in it themselves. My mom died when I was 6, and my dad remarried when I was 11. My stepmom has always been really great. She married a guy with young kids, but never tried to take over or place herself into the family where my mom once was. She created a new slot, a different slot, and made it work. But my dad's parents have always been pretty old school in their thinking. They used to see it as disrespectful that we called our stepmom Jean, or that she didn't adopt us. My dad and stepmom's wedding was sort of rushed because Jean was pregnant and my dad was due to have surgery on his back, so they did a very quick courthouse thing. Fast forward, and it's been about 30 years since they married, and my grandparents are giving her crap. I didn't realize at the time, but they had told her that she should have worn some of my mom's jewelry, should have made some speech about taking over from her, and tried to lay claim to my mom's life and possessions in some kind of way. They said it would be comforting for us and show how much she respected her mom and appreciated that she was taking over for her. The whole thing is so damn weird and gross. I'm talking about both my mom and Jean. I can't imagine my mom would want Dad's second wife taking all the stuff that she left behind for herself instead of it being for her kids. Even more to make a speech that to me sounds a lot like, "You stay dead. This is mine now." And for Jean, she's not my mom. She's a different person. She will always be reminded that she only came because of heartache and pain, and that she wasn't the first wife. She's not the mother. She's not the one we all have cried for and missed and wish we could have back. It has never bothered her, but I'm sure it was awkward at first to find a place that respected that while also making her feel like she truly belonged and wasn't second best. But my grandparents essentially wanted her and still want her to become the person our mom was instead of her being her own unique person, on a day where she is celebrating her marriage to dad and not my parents' marriage. So when I heard this being said, and my dad was never aware of what went on, I told him it was creepy to expect her to take over another person's life like that, and that it's disgusting to try and bring someone down for not wanting to disrespect someone else's memory. I pointed out that trying to be them, trying to take over and replace them, is disrespectful and not some great honor. I also told them that Jean never tried to be our mother because she knew always that she wasn't, and she never could be. But she could be Jean, and she could be something different, but important to our family. My grandparents are pissed. My dad could not believe it when he found out. He was so mad at his parents. Other family members are saying I took it all out of context and that I was the one being disrespectful to my grandparents and to Jean. AITA? NTA, but hot dog your grandparents are. I'm proud of you for defending Jean, even though the situation was BS. I bet in that moment she 100% felt that how she approached the situation when she married into your family was exactly perfect because your respect, love, and loyalty towards her was real.